Hello, welcome to the first Insta Live of the Enhanced Fertility app, Instagram. And today we're going to talk about male fertility. And we're going to talk with Kevin, the founder of the Man Cave, who is going to tell us about his journey of male infertility and how it has impacted the work that he's doing now to support so many people who are trying to conceive. So let's see if we can invite Kevin to join us. And the reason why we want to talk a lot about male fertility is because it's November and we want to raise awareness. Hi, Kevin. Welcome.
Oh,
Kevin, I was just saying that this is the first Instagram live ever of this account.
thank you. Thanks for having me.
And you are the first here as well. Thank you so much for being here.
No problem. I'm honored to be asked, and any way I can help, you know me, Andrea, I can help out.
Brilliant. And Kevin, the reason why I have invited you here is because you do so much for male fertility awareness. And we are now in the month of November, where we talk a lot about male health. So we want to raise awareness about male fertility, and we will be talking a lot about that topic throughout the month. And we wanted to start with your journey, your work, and how much it has impacted on the work that you're doing now, which is so amazing. But I want to start by asking you the beginning of your story and your journey. Tell me a bit about the time when you didn't know you had a problem, and maybe you were just trying to get pregnant.
Yeah, like a lot of guys. I was in, say about 8 years ago, I was in a relationship. Everything was going well. We tried for a baby for about 12 months, maybe. Nothing was happening, getting a bit frustrated, you could say. Done the usual, went to the doctors. My partner at the time, my girlfriend at the time, had tests. I had tests sent on the clinic to do a sperm sample. Naive, I thought nothing of it. I thought no problem at all. Went down there, and then I had the news of it was negative or zero, basically, and kind of shocked in a way, and rescheduled for another date. I think it was 2 or 3 weeks down the line. I think I had went back and done another sample, and same outcome again. And I started to wake up a little bit then and find out more and what was happening.
And Kevin, I imagine that first impact when you look at your results, or when the doctor tells you that those results, it is quite shocking, isn't it? Because you're not expecting it to be that.
Yeah.
How did it happen?
Yeah, I was just in denial for quite some time. I was shocked, and for me personally, coming from a big family, and it weren't unheard of, and I really struggled, and regards to support as well. I didn't know where to turn to. I'm a typical bloke. I kept it inside, and it was a tough process at the early stage of that.
And did at any point you think that maybe this first test is wrong? Maybe I didn't do it correctly, or maybe you thought that this is not my result?
100%.
Yeah.
You hear stories of people being told they can't have children, and then all of a sudden it happens, and I was fingers crossed. I thought, oh, is a mistake in the lab, or the clinic's gone wrong. They must, like I said, I was in denial for quite some time, and I just couldn't understand the whole process.
Yeah, and then you had the second test.
Yeah, second test, and that was same outcome. And the next process for me was a sperm retrieval operation.
Yeah. So did you have to go to a doctor who specializes in male fertility? Because I know in the clinics, it's mostly a gynecologist in the beginning, isn't it, following up?
Yeah,
the
I went to
couple?
down to my local hospital. I was sent to my local hospital to have my procedure done, and it was pretty much in and out. And sad to say, it was the same outcome again. They couldn't retrieve nothing, and I was still in denial. It was just shock. It was shocking, and the lack of support was just unbelievable.
And did you ever ask yourself why? I mean, why is this happening? Was it something that I've done,
Yeah.
or is that
Yeah. I did. Yeah,
still not?
for many days, for many weeks, for many months, and many years, I asked that question: why me? And was it anything I could have done, diet and that? But regards to my situation, it was nothing I could have done. I was just the hand I was dealt with genetically, and but there is cases for other men out there that they can look at the diet and
Mm-hmm.
DNA fragment tests, as you know, Andrea, and there's a lot. It's really good to see now that there's a lot more happening for the guys out there.
Yeah. So you were asking yourself why you, like you said, you weren't having a lot of support from anyone. I imagine that must have been a really hard time in your life.
Yeah, it was really tough. I've spoke about it before. I turned to drink. I was drinking heavily.
Mm-hmm.
I was too ashamed to speak to people. My family didn't understand, and I didn't take that to heart. But how could I understand in a way?
Mm-hmm.
And basically my relationship broke down, and I was in a bad place. And I moved back in with my parents at the time, and it was all about trying to get my feet back on my feet, basically.
Yeah. So I mean, it was affecting you, your self
All life, yeah.
confidence, your relationship, your family, and how about your work and your relationships with your friends?
I lost a few friends over it, to be honest, and I got made redundant in my job.
Wow.
That happens. I think being made redundant in a job, but I think mentally I weren't in that right frame of mind. And like I said, I lost friends and family. I pushed people away just because of the lack of support.
Yeah. I think that is your experience is the experience of so many people that I talk to as well, because we as human beings, we have so many things that make us us, right?
Yeah,
Being part of a relationship, being a daughter or son, being a friend. I mean, our work gives us a certain identity. But when we are faced with this problem, it's almost like all the other roles disappear and this becomes our sole focus. Was that what you felt was happening to you?
I did. Like I said, I was in a relationship, work, etc. I was on top of the world, and then just to be taken away in an instant, it was a really hard pill to swallow. And like I said, I struggled for a good few months in denial.
Yeah.
And I've spoke about it before. I was lucky to meet an amazing woman who I married, Nikki, and we've gone on our fertility journey.
And Kevin, how was it? Because I think that to start a relationship when you already know that you have a problem is also very challenging, isn't it? I've been there myself, and we always think, when is the right time to talk about it? Is it the first date, the second, the third?
Yeah,
I mean,
it was
when is?
it was the hardest thing I've ever ever had to do. To be honest, really tough. I was going on dates with a number of women, and as soon as the topic of children would come up,
Mhm.
I'd get scared. I wouldn't say on the date. I'd wait till I get home and message the woman and say, "Look, I'd rather be friends. It's not for me." But that weren't the case, and it was what I was dealing with inside. I was battling demons, and it was a really tough process.
It's really hard because, just like you, I've also been through times when I said I just don't want them, because that's much easier for people to understand on the other side. But at the same time, they, I feel that people end up having certain misconceptions about us
Yeah,
in general, about people who don't want children, isn't it?
I agree. Totally agree with you. Yeah, it is. That's all I can say. I just totally agree with you on exactly what you just said, Andrea. To be honest.
And so how was it with your wife? How did you explain to her
Yeah,
what was the
yeah.
problem?
I think it got to a point in my life where I thought, right, enough's enough. I need to speak up. The same happened to Nikki. We went on a date, and I went home and I messaged her, I'd rather be friends, and that weren't the case. And then a point in my life, like I said, I think it was 3-4 weeks down the line, I got in touch with Nikki and said, look, this is my situation. And she took me for who I am, just said, it's not the end of the world. But for me, it felt like every day, it felt like it was the end of the world, because that is the next stage in a relationship, you could say. Get married, job, car, children.
Yeah.
And yeah, Nikki was just brilliant. We went on our little fertility journey, and things have been great that to an extent. And yeah, we're all good at the minute.
I mean, and Nikki is just an amazing human being, I think, because what seems like a huge weight on your shoulders, she's just accepted. And I think when we have someone who accepts us exactly as we are, and in spite of everything that our bodies can or cannot do, it just sort of reduces the pain on our side. Do you feel that?
Yeah. For me personally, and I think I could speak to a lot of guys. Is the guilt as well. The early stages with Nikki, I felt like I was holding her back. I felt like we'd argue on the fertility journey and say, like, go find someone else, or like leave me be, or go on your own. And for me personally, I dealt with a lot of guilt. I felt like I was holding Nikki back, but she kept reassuring me, look, we didn't this together. And like I said, she's pretty amazing. I won't tell her all.
No, I'm sure she'll watch this Insta live and she will know. And so going on that journey again after having such a traumatic first journey, how was it? Did you begin that journey with hope? How did it happen?
Yeah, I think every cycle you go on, I think you go in confident, and think this is the one. This is feeling positive. We studied, we educated ourselves where we thought we did, and we were prepared going into our first cycle, but it weren't to be. And the same happened on our second cycle. The same again, going in positive, that positive mental attitude. And like I said, the same outcome again. We were unlucky. We had IVF the first time, ICSI the second time, swapped it around. But it was just trying to stay positive. And it was like people watching this now is a tough old journey, and you need to stay positive, I think. But looking back, like I said, this was a few years ago. We didn't really educate. We thought we did, but there's so much information out there for men and women now. It's pretty good to see.
Yeah. And Kevin, are you still trying with your own sperm, or are you going ahead with sperm donation?
Yeah,
Have you thought about it?
For me, I was diagnosed with Fertility cell-only syndrome. So
okay.
there's nothing they can do for me, pretty much. And yeah, we're going down the sperm donor route. After the 2 cycles, we taken a little break. Like I said, we got married, we travelled a bit, and at the moment, is up in the air with COVID restrictions and so on, and we're still saving a little bit of money, but we're open third time lucky.
Yes, that's what they say, that we need 3 cycles, isn't it, on average, for it to work. And how challenging was it to, on one hand, to accept that things were not going to happen naturally, and secondly, that you had to consider a donor? Was it difficult, or did it come sort of easy for you?
No, it was very much difficult. Many chats with Nikki, we set up little dates where we talk because we're busy with work all the time. And it was, for me personally, like I said, sperm donor was a really tough process, but I come to terms with it by seeking comfort in other people's stories. Going on Instagram especially is a great community on here, reaching out to other guys on their profiles who've been down that route. And yeah, at the end of the day, I'm going to bring that child up. So I'm going to be the dad, and it's about that positive mental attitude again. And just keeping focus, and we're gonna have bad days, and this is how we deal with them bad days. And I always say tomorrow's a new day.
Absolutely. I was just thinking that on my way home, that one of the biggest things I got from my fertility journey was the ability to bounce back quickly. When something happens, of course, we are sad, and it wouldn't be normal to be happy if something that we really wanted didn't happen. But it's the ability to bounce back and quickly think about the alternative way to get where we want to get. And I think you are like that as well. You seem to have gained that out of this challenge.
I think acceptance is key, and I speak about it a lot because I'm really passionate about it, and I accepted my situation. I've been on the journey about 8 years. About 3 years ago, I kind of accepted it, and it took, like I said, you go through the emotions: denial, anger, depression, frustration, and I don't know what it was. It was a number of things. I lost my cousin through suicide. Nothing to do with fertility. He was just a young guy, and I thought, enough's enough. I was bottling all this anger and all this these emotions, and that's where I decided to set up the Man Cave, my platform on Instagram and so on, Facebook, etc. And I'm all about spreading awareness around male infertility and mental health, as I believe they go hand in hand. And I've just gone from strength to strength. I'm in my second year now, and I'm not going nowhere. I'm just breaking barriers down every day.
And Kevin, I remember when you just started, and I can see where you are now, and it's just such an amazing journey, especially because so many men don't feel open or able to be open about their journey. So that's why what you do is even more important. You are bringing voices. You are the voice to all those men who are not strong enough yet to be open about their journeys. So tell me a bit about what you are doing in your raising awareness, in your mission to raise awareness.
Yeah, regards to the Instagram, I do posts. I try to motivate guys. I kind of let guys know about resources, infertility support group, which Fertility Network run as well, which is great for guys.
That is like online, or how can men join that support?
Yeah, you can go through the Fertility Network charity page, and there's a website on there. The link's on there, sorry. Over on Facebook, there's a Him Fertility group. And regards to me, the Man Cave, where I live in Cardiff in South Wales, we do the Man Cave meetup. I've started. I've done it for a few months now. We meet in Cardiff once a month, and at the minute there's about 4 or 5 of us. We meet up, but we share our stories. Some guys don't talk, and that's fine. But then it's nice to see as the months go on, they kind of open up, and you're just letting guys, like I said, letting guys know there's other resources out there. And recently we had a guy who he had a failed cycle, and they were due to go on another IVF cycle. And I just told him about the DNA fragmentation, which I don't know a lot about personally, but I know there's a lot of guys that are going through these tests, and they're finding out a lot about their sperm. And before having the 5 or 6 grand or 7 grand treatment, there is outlets out there for these guys out there which they're not sure of, and it's so good to let these guys know that there is resources out there.
Absolutely, and we do see a lot of couples going ahead with invasive treatment without having the male fully investigated. So they might do a normal sperm test without the DNA fragmentation. Most often men don't have a physical examination like women in most cases. So there's just a lot that is unknown when most couples are going ahead with treatment. Do you feel that might be something that needed to change in the future?
Yeah, totally. It's improving every day. And I said, like, since I've done the Man Cave, in the last 2 years, it's just improving every day. There's more things happening. There's more studies happening. There's more support groups. There's women like yourself champion the male, letting couples know that it ain't just the women that are suffering, it's the guys. And I generally believe, is like I said, it's a 50-50 process, and I feel you look after both the male and the female, you'll have a much better outcome. I truly believe that.
Absolutely. And they often say that the men have the easy bit, but it's not so easy, because of course I think the hardest part, of course, for women, it's difficult to have the injections, it's difficult to go through the processes, but I think the hardest part of the treatment itself is the emotional part.
Totally agree. End of the day, every bloke will swap sides with their wife or their girlfriend straight away if they could. But men are suffering. A lot of men are suffering in silence, and like you said, is that emotional impact. And as guys, we struggle to talk to people, and that's what I'm trying to spread awareness. And you got to understand, there's a lot of guys that don't use social media, and
that's true.
It's trying to reach out to these guys, which I'm trying to do in regards to the support group I'm running, Face On. And some people don't like doing these Zoom calls, but some guys rather face to face. And I'm just trying to spread the awareness and get the word out there.
And how has your relationship changed with your friends since you've been so open about it? You're in the news, you're everywhere. I mean, you're the people in your private life.
It's been pretty amazing, to be honest, Andrea. It's been overwhelmed. I got a Facebook group which is open. Part of that why it's open is because I'm trying to break the stigma. I don't want to hide away. There is support groups which are private, and they are crucial. I generally believe we need these things, but with me, I'm really trying to break the stigma. And in regards to the Facebook, the open page, there's a lot of people, friends and family on there, and other people. But the feedback I've had is so amazing. And like I said, in regards to acceptance, the weight off your shoulders is just unbelievable. And you'd be surprised how many people are affected by it.
Yeah, that is so true. I find that most of the time when I run events, it's usually the women who register and who come and who then try and convince their partners to attend as well, or they pass the information to them.
I think that will never change. I spoke to someone recently, and like going back to starting my journey years ago, it was my girlfriend at the time that pushed me down to the doctors. Otherwise, we would have been carrying on trying for years. But it's that nagging of pushing and pushing, and women will always do it. And I say, keep it up. I keep nagging us blokes, keep telling us where to go, and we'll finally give in.
And how can women support men if they receive that diagnosis? Some research says that men struggle more if there is a male factor in the couple. How can we support men going through such a challenging diagnosis?
It's a tough question, and I really struggle to answer on times, and it's silly my answer, but basically give them space when they need that space, and tell them that you're going to be there for them, and when they're ready to talk to them, and tell them about social media accounts like myself and yourself and other amazing accounts on Instagram. And I always tell people, set up an Instagram account, even if it's anonymous, even if it's a black screen, and follow them. It might sound silly to people saying that, but it helped me massively. Nikki, my wife at the time, the only reason I set up the Man Cave is because she was following the Trying to Conceive community on Instagram. And I went on straight away, and I followed people like yourself, and it's so rewarding hearing other people's stories. You seek a lot of comfort in it, and you learn a lot as well. And that's what I would say personally.
I think one day we need to bring Nikki as well here on Insta Live.
Good luck with that.
Because
I can try.
I'm a fan already.
I can try for you. That's all I can say.
And Kevin, if you're thinking ahead, you've achieved so much since you've launched the Man Cave. Where do you want it to go over the next few years? What would be really, really good for you that you'd say, yeah, I've I'm leaving this mission and lots of people are getting the help they need?
First of all, I'm not leaving anywhere. I'm still going to be annoying people. I'm still going to be chasing people down. Next year, I'm hopefully going to start my own business of coaching, which I'm really passionate about, which I got a purpose. I've been working on for quite some time, as you know, and is getting that out there. I'm hopefully going to write a book as well. So I'm going to need a couple of months off, or nearly a good 12 months to do that. And one of my goals is hopefully get to Parliament and push the matter to Parliament and let other guys know that they're not alone, and hopefully I can do something and make a difference in this world.
Wow, I think that is called transforming your challenge into something positive, isn't it?
I just wish I could do it full time. I work in the builder's merchant in the building trade, and I do this part time, and only if I could do it full time, and hopefully with the coaching next year, I plan to do. I'm hoping I can help and save. And I'm really passionate. I really believe I'm saving guys, because I know suicide is the biggest killer in males under 45, and I've spoken about it before. I'm really passionate. I really believe that a lot of them are due to fertility issues, because every guy I've spoken to, they've all had suicidal thoughts. And some people might think that's silly of me, but I'm really passionate about it, and I've spoken to a lot of guys over the years, and yeah, hopefully I can get the help they truly deserve.
I think you will get there, Kevin. And the reason why I say that is because you have a strong enough why. And
100%.
when we have this strong why, we can get anywhere. And we can dream really big, like you're dreaming. And it's your passion for something so traumatic that happens that there's no other alternative. Because like you said, what's the alternative if we don't turn it into something positive? Is it the depression, the suicidal thoughts? I mean, that's the only way forward.
Regards to mental health, it's been really, I generally believe they're breaking the stigma regards to mental health. There's a lot of people, I've just spoken about it before, Tyson Fury on mental health, nothing to do with fertility, but someone like him, an heavyweight champion of the world, speaking up, do you know what I mean, is breaking that stigma. And there's so many people speaking about mental health at the moment, and it's so good to see, and that's half the battle regards to fertility. So if mental health can do it, I'm sure we can, infertility in general, can do it exactly the same.
Absolutely. It's like, hopefully more and more people will talk about it. And we have here a comment from Mary saying, all the best on your powerful, rewarding mission. Keep up the outstanding work.
Oh, thank you very much. Like I said, I'm not going nowhere, and hopefully for us on our fertility journey, it's third time lucky next year now. And people are amazed that I'm still on the fertility journey and still trying to help people, but I've been brought up like that to help. I always put other people first, and like I said, I'm not going nowhere.
That sounds beautiful, Kevin. I will continue to follow you, and I can see you doing so many more things. And yes, I'm sure you'll have your baby, and we will be here to cheer you on as well.
I hopefully do a TED talk as well, which I've seen yours over the years, which I'm passionate about as well. So maybe I can build up the confidence to do that as well.
Well, like I said, you have the why, and I think when we are able to transform something really negative into a powerful force, yeah, that's what they are looking for in a TED talk, isn't it? So you have all the right ingredients to make it happen as well. So dream big.
Yeah, thank you so much, and thanks for the support, Andrea. It means a lot, and I'd always follow you, and it's good to see someone who's passionate about making a difference as well.
Thank you so much, Kevin. And I will add this video to IGTV, and I will share it on my other account as well. But thank you so much for being the first person here in our Enhanced Fertility app account. Thank you.
No problem at all. And if anyone wants to reach out to me, they can feel free and follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Thank you, Kevin. Bye.
Thank you very much. Ta-ra, Anya. All the best. Ta-ra.